The Circle of Protection letter is it's really an effort to call on Congress especially, and in fact everybody involved in the policy process in Washington to pay attention to the needs of the most vulnerable of Americans in the midst of our efforts to work through this budget crisis. To some extent, it is just another iteration of the budget debates that we've had in the past. However, I think that what's particular about this one is that it's a little bit under the radar screen. I think that a good number of Americans really haven't paid attention to what the sequestration could in fact mean to America's most vulnerable populations, to the poor, to the elderly, to the handicapped, and to the youngest children in the United States. And so, yeah, if we're looking for something that's a little bit different here, it's that the sequestration is as I say, a little bit under the radar screen. Honestly, every program in the government is on the chopping block for the most part, and so the cuts that have me most concerned are cuts to things like Medicaid. I'm a Roman Catholic, and 1/3 of the births in the United States are paid for by Medicaid, and Medicaid as well covers about 60% of those people in nursing homes in the United States. Medicaid, SNAP, that was formerly called food stamp programs, this is on the chopping block. Obviously, Medicare itself is on the chopping block to some extent. Public housing programs are on the chopping block. Head Start programs in the United States are on the chopping block, and on and on. Community health programs. It's just it is America's most vulnerable people who will feel this, most acutely. I think that we all have to realize that the budget is a moral document. There are moral questions at stake here that should really impact us in the deepest recesses of our faith, whether we're Christian or Jewish or whatever religion that we belong to. And so I think that we need to think about that as we look at all of the cuts that might need to be made in order to balance the budget and the new revenues as well, I hope. Recognize that in making those cuts and in thinking about those revenues, there's a moral dimension that touches us at the core of our faith.